The top stories tonight in Y News. Thousands of residents previously hit by Typhoon Neneng need to be evacuated again as Typhoon Obet approaches northern Luzon.
The Department of Health is conducting an investigation to find the source of hand, foot, and mouth disease outbreak in San Pascual, Batangas.
The Philippine government begins the deportation of illegal Chinese workers from unlicensed Philippine offshore gaming operators.
Ukraine faces massive power outages after Russia strikes.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Wednesday, October 19, 2022. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am William Theo.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harleen Delgado.
First in the news, another tropical cyclone is threatening northern Luzon. Thousands of residents previously hit by Typhoon Neneng need to be evacuated again as Typhoon Obet approaches northern Luzon this weekend. Ray Pelayo tells us why.
Based on the forecast of Pag-asa, the direction of Tropical Depression Obet is the same as where the cyclones Maymay and Neneng passed. The Weather Bureau forecasts that Obet will affect northern Luzon this weekend.
Ang nakikita natin is yung ulan na galing kay Obet dito sa pangatlong araw na forecast natin ay maaapektuhan din yung area na dinaanan ni Neneng. So, dapat po kailangan paghandaan nito dahil nga sa ito ay binahana or inulan na nung kay Neneng.
The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council estimated the same number of individuals that may be evacuated in northern Luzon.
Kung the same area yung dadaanan, so more or less aabot din yan sa 4,000 persons.
The NDRRMC already alerted the authorities and local government units to prepare. They will also check if there are areas needed to be categorized as high risk, especially those in mountainous areas.
Konting ingat ito kasi saturated na nga yung lupa at konting ulan na lang siguro it will really trigger landslides.
And the RRMC calls the public to strengthen their structures and unclog waterways to prevent further floodings. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Pag-asa says it might raise wind signal over northern Luzon due to Tropical Depression Obet. The State Weather Bureau Pag-asa announces that they might raise wind signal tonight or tomorrow morning in northern Luzon areas due to Tropical Depression Obet. Obet has maintained its strength with 45 kilometers per hour of maximum sustained winds and gustiness of up to 55 kilometers per hour. As of 4 p.m., the cyclone was located at 920 kilometers east of extreme northern Luzon. It is moving west-northwest at 10 kilometers per hour. Based on the forecast track of Pag-asa, Obet can bring heavy to intense rainfall over northern Luzon starting Friday. It is possible to intensify further as it approaches the country.
The Philippine National Police has yet to monitor threat for the long holiday. PNP spokesperson Police Colonel Jean Fajardo, however, said they will deploy sufficient number of personnel in the places of convergence. Leah Ilagan will tell us why.
The Philippine National Police wants to ensure the safety and security of the public this long holiday. That's why they assure sufficient deployment of personnel, not only in the cemeteries and columbarium, but also in other places of convergence such as malls, bus terminals, seaports, and airports.
Inaasahan din po natin, magiging mabigat din po yung trapiko at yung mga magbabiyahe po. Kaya maglalagay din po tayo ng mga police assistance desk sa mga pangunahing kalsada, sa ating po mga major transport terminal para po alalayan at gabayan po yung ating mga maglalakbay na mga kababayan.
The NCRPO will deploy about 10,000 personnel in Metro Manila.
Meron kasi tayong area security, venue security, may traffic, may magbabantay din sa mga places of convergence like kasama na dyan ang simbahan, ang kasama na rin dyan ang mga parks, of course yung ating cementerio and columbariums.
Police Lieutenant Colonel Versola said a number of police personnel will also help manage the traffic.
Meron din itatalaga ng mga riding motorcycle units natin na iikot sa buong Metro Manila kasi kasabay niyan ay pagdagsa rin ng mga sasakyan sa mga sementeryo. So we expect meron din mag-assist sa mga parking areas, may mag-iikot na anti-criminality task group. Sila ay magbabantay against mag-take advantage sa araw na ito.
The PNP once again remind motorists to develop the habit of checking blue baguettes or battery, lights, oil, water, brake, air, gas, engine, tires, and self for the safe travel. Leia Ilagan, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange ensures that there will be enough buses amid the expected influx of travelers over the long weekend. JP Nunez will tell us why.
Following President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s declaration of October 31 as a special non-working holiday, the management of Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange anticipates an increase of passengers in the terminal over the long weekend. According to PITX spokesperson Jason Salvador, they estimate that travelers who will go there respective provinces may total up to 150,000.
The recent weeks and months, nakakaranas na tayo ng around 120,000 passengers per day. And ang pagtaya natin, pagdating ng long weekend ng Undas, iaabot ito ng mga 150,000.
PITX coordinated with the Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board to ensure that buses would be available.
Ang napagkasunduan namin, mag-i-issue sila ng special permits para sa mga karagdagang bus para hindi tayo kapusin.
A random inspection of the terminal was conducted in coordination with the Land Transportation Office to ensure that bus drivers were not influenced by any illegal drugs. Salvador stated that the LTO will also assess the state of public transportation for passenger safety. Additionally, a help desk will be set up in the terminal to assist passengers with their inquiries. To steer people away from the anticipated crowd of passengers, PITX management informs the general public that they may purchase tickets earlier before the long weekend. The management further reminds the general public that minimum public health standards must still be strictly adhered to in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Meanwhile, health authorities are currently looking into the origin of hand, foot, and mouth disease or HFMD cases in Batangas. The DOH Calabarzon said it already started the epidemiological investigation to find the source of HFMD outbreak in San Pascual, Batangas. Specimens were also sent to the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine in Metro Manila to determine the causative agent. The DOH Calabarzon said it recorded 105 cases with clinical symptoms of HFMD from September 26 to October 16, but only 49 cases fit the suspect HFMD case definition. It also noted that most of the cases are children aged 1 to 16 years old, and majority of them are male. The patients were mostly pupils from different schools within the community and residents of 11 different barangays.
Public schools have been granted to continue implementing blended learning amid previous order to fully implement in-person classes in November. Kath Dumaraos will tell us why.
Department of Education granted public schools the option to continue implementing blended learning modality in November. According to DepEd spokesperson Michael Poa, public schools can submit their appeal to their regional directors for exemption.
Kung sakaling may mga public schools na hindi po talaga kakayanin na 5-day in-person classes, pwede po silang humingi ng exemption sa kanilang regional directors.
Regional directors will issue guidelines for exemptions and assured these will be included in a department memorandum to be released soon. Earlier, Vice President and DepEd Secretary Sara Duterte signed DepEd Order No. 44, allowing private schools to continue blended learning modality for the rest of school year 2022 to 2023. POA said most private schools cannot implement 5-day in-person classes as they had prepared and invested so much for online learning. Kat Maraos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, the United States of America suffers a near record number of over 47 million bird deaths this year after being infected with a different form of the bird flu. Paul Gatchalian will tell us why live. Yes, Paul?
Mariel, this year's bird flu virus strain was found to be more tenacious, infectious, and easily spread across poultry in the United States of America. Rosemary Sifford, Chief Veterinarian of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, explained that this particular H5N1 virus subtype survived the hot summer when bird flu is usually kept under control. The strain is expected to linger longer in wild birds such as ducks and be spread further into 2020 as the flocks migrate. This year's 47 million bird deaths comes a close second to the 50 million total deaths recorded back in 2015. Although production and cleaning systems have improved since 2015, authorities were still caught by surprise by the persistent strain this year. The outbreaks placed export bans on U.S. poultry and restricted egg and turkey production, while also bumping up poultry prices ahead of the holiday season. China in particular, which is a major buyer, has blocked all exports from the entire state. The same strain has already spread across Europe, culling almost 50 million birds, making it the continent's worst bird flu crisis to date. Mariel?
Paul, what steps are the U.S. officials taking in order to control or at least contain the bird flu outbreak?
Mariel, U.S. authorities will be monitoring 4 major flyways for more wild birds carrying the virus and will extend it until next year. Although it is deemed too late after millions of poultry have already died, vaccines are being considered to keep the remaining poultry alive. Mariel?
Thank you, Paul Gatchalian, reporting live. Meanwhile, over 100 million people from eastern Colorado to the Appalachians and south to the Gulf Coast are under freeze warnings. The country's Weather Prediction Center stated that many places will see their first freeze over the next few nights, which signals the early arrival of winter temperatures. The following days will see temperatures of 15 to 30 degrees below average, the agency added. Some areas may also see lake effect snow brought by the cold northwestern winds. Meanwhile, above normal temperatures in the west is expected to push across the country's eastern half by this weekend, ending the early wintry air mass. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen and William.
Thank you, Marielle. The Philippine government started the deportation of unlicensed workers of Philippine Offshore Gaming Operator or POGO while they prepare for the departure of hundreds who are overstaying. Department of Justice Secretary Boying Remulla and Immigration Commissioner Norman Tansinco were at the NAIA to see the deportees. They were assisted by the members of the Bureau of Immigration Warden Facility and Border Control and Intelligence Unit. 49,000 Chinese nationals were given 59 days to self-deport instead of visa cancellation. The government continues its efforts to crack down against illegal POGOs after learning that more than 150 have canceled licenses.
Meanwhile, a committee in the House of Representatives conducted a motu proprio inquiry regarding the effect of the Philippine Offshore Gaming Operator or POGO on employees. Filipinos working for POGO have urged the House not to close down the industry. Eileen Cerudo will tell us why.
Jacqueline Frias Adap works as an encoder in Pogo based in Cavite for 2 years. During her time working, she was able to buy a home for her family, help with the education of her sibling, and other daily expenses. According to Jacqueline, her time working in Pogo was helpful.
Hindi naman po ako magtatagal doon kung hindi po okay yung relationship namin between foreigners po and then po sa amin.
Jacqueline is among the almost 20,000 Filipinos working in Pogo. She also called on lawmakers in Congress not to stop Pogo operations.
Sana naman po open-minded po kayo na wag nyo naman po sanang isara kasi marami pong natutulungan si Pogo. Hindi lang po ako, marami po kami na mawawala ng trabaho. Ayun, wag naman po sana.
Meanwhile, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian called on the Department of Labor and Employment to prepare its assistance for Filipino workers. Senator Gatchalian said DOLE should prepare other job opportunities as a replacement for Pogo Filipino workers. During the House inquiry, DOLE assured Filipino workers in Pogo that the department is prepared to provide assistance if Pogo companies stop operation. The National Economic Development Authority or NEDA also assured assistance will be provided for Filipino employees in Pogo companies.
As mentioned by Dole earlier, we can reskill, retrain the employees that will be let go of if ever we ban Pogos from the country, and then the offices that would be vacated can be used for other, hopefully, production activities.
Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The National Food Authority faced scrutiny in today's Senate budget hearing after senators questioned the increase in their proposed budget for buffer stock next year. This report will tell us why. The Senate Finance Subcommittee deferred for a while the approval of the proposed budget of the National Food Authority or NFA during the second round of the budget hearing of the Department of Agriculture. This as officials failed to answer on who proposed the increase in the 12 billion peso proposed subsidy budget of the NFA, which will be used for the buffer stocking of 300,000 metric tons of rice next year. The subsidy will be used to buy palay from local farmers, which will be resold to government agencies for disaster relief. However, Senator Cynthia Villar questioned the 5 billion peso increase from the 7 billion pesos, which is the amount that was usually requested by the NFA in the previous years. NFA Administrator Judy Dansal says she has no idea on who proposed the amount, saying that they only requested an additional 2 billion pesos.
Who decided on giving your subsidy at 12 billion?
We do not know, Your Honor. It was just included in the NEP of the Department of Agriculture.
Oh, so who decided on that? Nobody decided on that?
The DM, ma'am, kasi sila naglagay sa NEP.
The most senior agriculture official in the hearing, Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban, says he had no knowledge on the preparation of the budget, noting that he only came into office in August. Meanwhile, an official of the Department of Budget and Management says the increase was indicated in the proposed adjusted budget submitted by cabinet secretaries. The agency explains the increase was approved due to the increase in the buffing stocking requirement.
We were informed, ma'am, that from 9 days buffer stocking, it will be increased to 15 days buffer stock. Kaya po na-increase yung budget nila.
Sino nagsabi sa'yo?
Ma'am, as represented po doon sa hirit ng Department of Agriculture.
Hindi nga alam ng Department of Agriculture eh. It's the time of the previous Department of Agriculture. Oh, so bakit nyo i-honor yung hirit ng previous Department of Agriculture? Kala ko may approval to ng President, but based on Yusek Panganiban, hindi alam to ng President.
Hours after, Senator Francis Tolentino made a motion to withdraw his earlier move to defer the hearing of the NFA budget after Villar announced that they have agreed to approve the budget by reducing the amount.
Upon consultation with Yusek Domingo Panganiban, that we will bring down the budget of the NFA to 9 billion, which is the amount requested anyhow by Attorney Judy Carol Dansal.
The agency also revealed before the committee that it wants to increase the selling price of NFA rice, saying that the current 25 pesos per kilogram is now unreasonable. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. pledged to give his full support for the Philippine Coast Guard's expansion and modernization efforts. Nel Maribuhok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assured the public that his administration is behind the Philippine Coast Guard in its efforts to modernize. President Marcos made the pledge at the commemoration of the PCG's 121st founding anniversary in Port Area, Manila. He also acknowledged that the members of Coast Guard are now taking on many additional tasks outside of their jurisdiction.
As your leader, I assure you that this administration will always be behind you, supportive of your efforts and initiatives to modernize the Philippine Coast Guard, which will redound to the better delivery of service to the nation.
The PCG's members were urged by the chief executive to continue their dedication and persistence in duties and responsibilities, committed to save lives, ensure safer maritime transportation, ensure cleaner seas, and secure maritime jurisdiction. He praised the PCG for stepping up to the plate when the government needed skilled workers during the COVID-19 pandemic.
When the pandemic came to the Philippines, and we were in need of skilled workers to help in, again, another duty or another mission that was not originally the mission of the Philippine Coast Guard, yet the Philippine Coast Guard rose to the challenge and to this day are continuing that duty to help alleviate the problems brought about by COVID-19. And in your duty and in your service, you have saved many, many lives. Once again, thank you for that service.
PBBM also conducted a tour aboard BRP Gabriela Silang, the third largest modern vessel in the Coast Guard fleet. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
After recent Russian strikes since October 7, Ukrainian settlements have suffered massive power cuts. From London, United Kingdom, here's Jella Garmino to tell us the details live. Jella, how many areas were affected by these massive blackouts?
Marielle, according to officials on Tuesday's briefing in Kiev from the 7th of October, an estimated 4,000 settlements in 11 regions of Ukraine have suffered power cuts, whilst 1,162 towns and villages remain without power. This comes after Russia attacked Ukraine's regions, targeting energy infrastructures. President Volodymyr Zelensky commented that 30% of Ukraine's energy facilities have suffered damage during the past 9 days. Russian attacks on energy facilities, shelling in the Donetsky district whilst launch missiles at the Dnipropetrovsk region have damaged the facilities, hence suffered water and electricity outages. Whilst the left bank of the capital Kiev has partially limited the supply of water and electricity. To counter the situation in several cities, Ukrainians are purchasing gas burners and power generators. Ukrainian citizens are being warned to prepare for a tough winter with more blackouts and are asked to cut down on their electricity and water usage, particularly on those where water pressure are low to conserve water. They are also urged to not use electrical appliances during 7 to 9 a.m. and 5 to 10 p.m. local times to ease pressures on the energy facilities. Back to you, Marielle.
Thank you, Jella Garmino, reporting live. A one-man protest against China's current president Xi Jinping has been started by a man called the Bridge Man and is now being replicated worldwide. Joselito Liquido will tell us why live. Yes, Joselito?
Good evening, Marielle. A rare one-man protest against President Xi Jinping happened last week in Beijing before the scheduled 20th Communist Party Congress, where Xi Jinping is expected to be elected party leader for the third consecutive time. Dubbed as the Bridge Man, the protesters strung banners across the bridge, accusing the president of being a dictator. Photos of his action have gone viral worldwide and even inspired others to do the same. However, the man was quickly detained by Chinese police, and guards have also been stationed in bridges across Beijing to ensure that no more signs will be put up. After seeing the photos online, similar signs have also appeared in university campuses in the United States of America, the United Kingdom, Australia, and other countries. Several China activist accounts on Instagram and Twitter have also urged their followers to emulate the Beijing protester and take action during the week of the Communist Party Congress. Several universities in the U.S. have been seen with similar signs, from Stanford, Emory, and Parsons Schools of Design, Goldsmith and King's College in London, as well as universities in Hong Kong. Meanwhile, the protest started crackdowns online, with all footages, pictures, and keywords such as Haidian, Beijing protester, and Sitong Bridge immediately removed from different Chinese social media platforms. Activists have raised their concerns regarding the safety of the protester, whom they call Bridge Man, but Chinese police officers have declined queries about the incident. Marielle?
Thank you, Joselito Liquido, for that live report. A study found that adults sleeping for 5 hours or less are at a higher risk of developing 2 or more chronic diseases as they get older. Mavian Dog will tell us why live. Yes, Maeve, go ahead.
Marielle, chronic diseases such as heart disease, arthritis, cancer, and diabetes are some of the chronic illnesses linked to shorter sleep span, according to the study published today in the journal Public Library of Science Medicine. The study followed 7,000 men and women over 30 years and found that as they reached the ages 50, 60, or 70 and slept 5 hours or less, there is a 30 to 40% increase in developing more than one chronic illness. While chronic illnesses have already been individually linked to sleep duration, lead author of the study, Severin Sabia, said this is the first time a study had focused on its link to multiple chronic illnesses. Meanwhile, Professor Maximilian de Courtin at Victoria University in Australia said the absolute risk of multiple chronic illnesses only affect 1 in 10 among short sleepers, and that there should be more focus on other risk factors like smoking, blood pressure, and inactivity. Marielle?
Thank you, Maven Dog, reporting live. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Maria Latoza, reporting live from Perth, Australia. Good evening.
Female workers in La Union now have the option to work from home during their red days. The provincial government of La Union has signed an executive order offering a 2-day work-from-home arrangement. They will also receive menstrual kits in every office. Governor Rafi Ortega David said the EO may serve to spread awareness to be kinder to female employees, especially during their period days. Some Asian countries, including Indonesia, Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan, grant paid medical leave for women with period pain.
Our Kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Mark, chapter 11, verse 24, it says, "Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." And those are the reasons behind the news, October 19, 2022. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Harleen Delgado.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.